As K-pop is becoming more and more global around the world, a pressure is put on K-pop idols to have a squeaky clean image. And if they do not maintain this image and mess up, then the backlash from South Koreans is swift. The main reason for this being is that these K-pop idols are representing South Korea, so if they mess up, then they will be giving out a negative image of the country. They are constantly pressured to be a good influence, and anything outside of that is just not accepted. Drug use, in particular, is seen as a very negative thing and is heavily frowned upon in the conservative society of South Korea. Despite cannabis or marijuana being allowed for medical reasons, it is still illegal in South Korea. In fact, the punishment is 5 years in prison and $44,000 for a fine. In fact, in winter of 1975, 50 or so South Korean entertainers were exposed for drug use, and it did not end well, my friends. To the rest of the world, controversies like this are like nothing significant. However, in South Korea, it is a big deal, and people could actually lose their careers and reputation as a direct result of it. So, in October of 2019, when Monsta X's Wonho had accusations of smoking marijuana, he felt he had no option but to leave the group because it could negatively impact on the group's image. His leave from Monsta X led to strong public outcry, where there were countless petitions, billboard ad campaigns to bring him back to Monsta X. Like, this is not the first time a K-pop idol has left a group due to some controversy. So what is it about Wonho that had fans trending to have him back every day for at least 4 months? But in order to understand why people love Wonho so much and why they wanted justice for him, we must first learn about Wonho and his humble beginnings. Wonho was born as Lee Ho-sak on March 1st, 1993 in Sanbong-dong, Gangpo, South Korea. If I butchered that, I am so sorry. I really am. His family mainly consisted of his 2 parents and younger brother. However, he did used to live with his grandmother at one point also. His family was actually really poor, and they stayed in this small apartment which consisted of 2 rooms. In one of those rooms, his grandmother stayed, and in the other room, his parents, his brother, and he stayed all together. Due to lack of money, his family would argue a lot, and as a result of this, Wonho's home life was pretty miserable. His school life wasn't that great either because he was constantly bullied and teased for being a quiet, good kid. His so-called friends even called him dirty for being poor, which is just so wrong on so many ways. Like, kids are so freaking messed up to do something like that, like they are. In order to fit in with his friends and not get bullied anymore, Wonho started doing what they were doing, and they were basically like a bad influence on him. Wonho did not want to do the things they did, but he did it because, again, he did not want to get bullied. These people got Wonho into trouble and even had a mild punishment as a result of this. Given Wonho's circumstances, he had no one to properly guide him, and so he just ended up making these dumb mistakes when he was a kid. Wonho even admits to these mistakes, and he apologized for them greatly. He does not even blame his friend for making these mistakes because these are choices that he made, and he definitely repents them deeply. It was a dark period in his life, and he was just not thinking straight. Around that time, he met, we're gonna call her Mustard because I refuse to give this person clout. So yeah, he met Mustard in his 2nd year of high school, and the two became really good friends, and they even supported each other in their modeling careers. Wonho was also a former Ulzang and appeared on Ulzang Shide Season 3 when it was airing from 2010 to 2011, and he went by the name Shin Ho-sok, not Lee Ho-sok, which was his birth name. When Wonho became a trainee, he saw how everyone around him was working so hard, and he basically got inspired to do what they were doing. He also felt really jealous because they were so good, and so he worked day and night to be really, really good. And even on his free time, he practiced near a stair corridor to get better. Wonho badly wanted to debut, and he made it his life mission to do exactly that. He then began going by the stage name Wonho, which we know him now as, and the name means to protect in Korean. In fact, Wonho prefers to go by his stage name Wonho rather than his real name, which is Ho-sok. In 2014, 2014, he was one of the 13 trainees to participate in Mnet's survival program No Mercy, where Starship Entertainment's new boy group will be. And this was Starship's attempt to launch a new boy group when third gen K-pop was just becoming a thing. All the boys in the show worked really hard on it, and there was a lot of competition and a lot of pressure on them to debut. On the show, Wonho was known as the guy who flashed his abs during his first performance, and he was also really good friends with Hwiyoung, who is now a member of Monsta X, and he was also known as the guy who worked out a lot and exercised. However, despite this carefree image, Wonho definitely had his struggles, and this was revealed in an episode where he talked about his home life very briefly. Wonho revealed that one day he went home and he saw red tags everywhere in his house. Basically, his family had gone bankrupt and he felt absolutely horrible for his family. He felt really bad because he felt like this happened because of him, and he also hated how his mother had nowhere else to go but just sit in front of the refrigerator to get some cool air. Wonho was really desperate to debut. It was a do or die situation for him. However, his wish did come true, and he ended up being one of the 7 boys to debut in Monsta X, along with Shonu, Minhyuk, Kian, Hyungwon, Juhani, and I.M. The group debuted in May 14th, 2015 with Trespass, which is such a bop, like Chef's Kiss. Love that song. During his time in Monsta X, Wonho was known for working out a lot and eating healthy and promoting a really healthy lifestyle. He was also really loved by both fans and non-fans for his insane stage presence, but Wonho wasn't only loved for his visuals, at least not by Monbebes, but he was also greatly loved for being such a genuinely sweet and kind-hearted man. He would do V-Lives during their busy tours to talk to fans for hours and hours, and yes, I was one of those fans who would watch his V-Lives while not understanding anything because I just loved him that much, and I still do.
민혁 씨 뭐 좋아해요? 아 저요? 저는 몸베베요. 죄송한데 없어요 아이스크림. 어느 정도 예상한 아니요 몸베베 그만큼 달콤하다는 거죠. 아닌데.
Who is the most famous person you've ever met in America?
미국에서 만난 사람들 가장 유명한 사람 누구였을까요?
저는 몸베베.
동글동글한 사람은 완벽한 동그라미를 그릴 수밖에 없다. 하지만 저처럼 몸베베를 사랑하는 사람 동그라미를 그려봤자 이렇게 하트로밖에 그려지.
Wonho might appear cold and intimidating on the outside, but in reality, that boy is just a wholesome little Hufflepuff.
또 뭐 있어?
후플
나는 그 먹을.
네?
먹을. 아 사람.
먹으래 사람이 아닌가?
먹을도 팀 아닌가요?
Wonho also began participating in composing and writing songs for Monsta X in 2017 and have done so up until 2019. Monsta X were also slowly gaining a lot of popularity around 2018-2019 after they had won their first music show trophy on November 14th, 2017. And honestly, it was like one of my favorite days as a Monbebe. Like, oh my god, I just remember that day very, very clearly, and it's just one of my favorite days ever. It was just so emotional and it was just so fun. And yeah, like one of my favorite memories as a K-pop stan. Monsta X then began partnering with multiple brands, which included Tudakgum and Tony Moly. Like, yes, my logic is if it has Wonho's face on it, then I should buy it. So yeah, I bought hand cream at the Monsta X concert venue. Monsta X even embarked on 3 world tours well before the whole world shut down, and they filmed multiple variety programs for the fans. Not only that, but they also had like 2 comebacks minimum a year. Wonho was also busy with brand deals and magazine shoots, and also writing and composing songs for future Monsta X albums. However, things changed for the worse on October 2019. Mustard, aka Wonho's former friend, tweeted on social media asking Wonho, when are you going to pay me back my money? Starship denied the rumors instantly, and Mustard decided to make things worse by revealing that Wonho used to be in a youth detention center and that he indeed did steal money from her. So yeah, basically Wonho's former close friend backstabbed him in the back by airing his personal life to the public and also his past mistakes. But yeah, not only that, but she spread so much misinformation that led to these rumors being very detrimental to him at the end of the day. And it was so conveniently planned because Monsta X were gonna come back in October with their mini album Follow Find You, and she decided to expose this right around the comeback time. Ketchup, aka Mustard's girlfriend, is also known for being a clout chaser, so she decided to make things worse and support Mustard on these rumors. And not only that, and she also threatened to sue anybody coming for both of them. Dispatch hit the final nail in the coffin because they revealed that back in 2013, Wonho did in fact smoke marijuana. So as a result of these allegations and rumors, Wonho officially decided to leave Monsta X on October 31st, 2019, and in his letter, he apologized to the fans. That was the last we heard from him in a long time. He was worried that this would negatively impact Monsta X's image, especially since they were getting a lot of recognition, and that he didn't want fans to unstand the group because of Wonho. This is gonna be hard to talk about, but this is like my experience as a monbebe, as somebody who ults Monsta X, who experienced all of this back then, and everything was just so uncertain. So let's just go through this very depressing memory. I remember the day Wonho left very, very vividly. I just finished my midterms, and I was excited to come back and stream the comeback and give all of my undying attention and love towards Monsta X. And the night before, I was also very hopeful that Starship would shut down these rumors instantly and sue Mustard and Ketchup, and things will just go back to the way it was, especially since the scandal of Wonho's wasn't even a big deal in Korea at the time. Like, it wasn't getting like a lot of negative attention, and people were not like demanding that Wonho leave Monsta X. However, since the narcotics team did launch an investigation on Wonho's apparent drug use based on these baseful rumors, and also because Dispatch reported it, Wonho felt like he had no choice but to leave the group, rather than just take a hiatus. Starship dropped the letter on their Twitter account, and I was so confused and scared at what it meant, and then the official translation dropped, and I was just heartbroken. Like thinking about it, like I still feel the pain in my heart. Monbebe Twitter was basically in shambles, and it was just such a hard thing to believe at the time. For Wonho to leave the group, that too during a comeback period, it was so freaking painful. Monbebes poured their love and support for Wonho in Monsta X's fan cafe, and he kept checking every single message and was logged in until he no longer had access to the fan cafe. The Monsta X members also took it really hard, and they had to perform like nothing ever happened on stage and promote the Fall of Find You album and comeback. Seriously, all the boys looked downright miserable when they were performing Follow, and I'm not even gonna show clips of it because it's just so depressing. And then all of a sudden, false rumors about Shonu also started surfacing, and right after when Wonho left, and honestly those were just really dark days for both Monsta X and Monbebes. I was just in a horrible mood constantly. I was high-key worried that we were gonna lose Shonu as well. It was just a living, breathing nightmare as a K-pop stan. Monbebes basically trended every day and consistently helped Wonho be in the top 5 Twitter trends. Petitions, fan cams, billboard ads were all arranged to bring awareness to the issue, to let Wonho know that we still love and supported him, and we want him back. When the investigation was launched, Wonho willingly cooperated with them, and he promised that he would have his name cleared. Wonho made it clear that he did make mistakes in the past, but he never used drugs. So due to this, Wonho was gone from the public eye for 4 months straight, with Monsta X having to pretend that Wonho never existed. Fans kept on showing their love and support for Wonho because someone sweet, genuine, and just hardworking like him didn't deserve for his career to be taken away based on these false rumors that had no evidence to back it up. Wonho is somebody that came from absolutely nothing, and he worked day and night to make his dreams come true. There are so many people that work hard day and night to debut as a K-pop idol or even reach an ounce of success, and Wonho was able to do that and save his family from bankruptcy. Fans knew what kind of person Wonho was, and he was somebody who always gave the love back to his fans. He was a role model to many people, myself included. And because we wanted Wonho back and we were raising awareness on the issue and not letting it die so that Wonho never comes back, other K-pop fandoms got mad at us, and some irrelevant loser even called Monbebes the Post-it Notes fandom because we left Post-it Notes on Starship Building, giving really encouraging and like loving messages to Wonho. So yeah, we were basically made fun of for wanting our boy back. Like, how does this affect you? Like, how? I don't get it. So yeah, many fandoms gave Monbebes a hard time. We were just missing Wonho constantly, and we were eagerly waiting for an update on his situation. Many people told us that he would never come back, and we were wasting our time. But, surprise, surprise, the Post-it Notes fandom won, bitch. On March 14th, 2020, Starship announced that Wonho was cleared of all of his charges, and those rumors were indeed false. I remember that day so vividly as well. I woke up earlier than expected because I had to go to the bathroom, and I was just gonna quickly check my phone before going off to bed. And then I get a notification from this Twitter account that would only post once there was an update on Wonho being cleared for his charges. So a lot of people had the notifications on for that account, and we were eagerly, desperately waiting for an update on that account. And then I saw that notification that account had posted, and I was just, oh my god, I don't even know how to explain it. I was just over the moon. Like, seriously, I was in the mood to run around the world and celebrate and embrace the sun because I was just that happy. In fact, it was literally the happiest that I have been in a long time. My mental health wasn't that good during that particular time period, not just because of Wonho, but because of other things as well. And for this good news on him, it just made my life exponentially better. Wonho was basically a free man, which meant he could come back to Monsta X or pursue a solo career or whatever he wanted to do. However, I had this mindset that I would support Wonho no matter what, and that I'll be happy if he comes back to Monsta X or he doesn't. So when Wonho decided to sign as Highline Entertainment, which is basically a subsidiary label under Starship to promote as a solo artist, a part of me was sad that we were not gonna get OT7 content in like a long time, but I was thrilled for Wonho to start this new journey. It was then revealed that Wonho did an interview with Dispatch, I know, the irony, and they released that interview after he got cleared. In that interview, he went very in-depth about his past and his personal struggle, where he sincerely apologized and admitted to all of his mistakes while going in-depth about his past and how he promises that he had never used drugs. I will link the full article in the description below. Highly recommend you definitely check it out. Wonho then came back to social media by uploading these. Wonho then began posting more and more on social media as he launched both a Twitter and Instagram account. And you should definitely follow him if you don't already, because he's such a great guy and he posts a quality content. Wonho then debuted on September 4th, 2020 with his debut album Love Synonym Part 1 Right For Me, with the title track Open Mind, which both locals and K-pop stans ate up. He then performed an online concert, he went on various music show programs, and he sold over 100,000 copies for his solo debut album. His body was bigger than ever because he worked out even more during his absence, and his stage presence was just better than ever. As a result, he was an exceptional solo artist. He then began getting brand deals, and he was on magazine covers again. And in present time, Wonho recently made his first comeback with Love Synonym Part 2 Right For Me and the title track Lose, which is one of my favorite songs of all time now. Like, Lose is that good. If you have not checked out Lose, you definitely should, because Wonho further showcases his brilliant artistry and talent. We really often forget that K-pop idols are still human beings at the end of the day, and that it's okay for them to mess up once in a while. Granted, they learn from their mistakes, take actual accountability, and grow from them. Wonho did exactly that, and he did not even blame anybody for his mistakes because these were choices he made and he deeply regrets all of them. However, for his past to catch up to him like this and for people to use it as a way to spread misinformation and to ruin his image, it was really difficult and stressful to watch. He was questioned by the police. He was basically treated as a criminal for something he did not even do. Like, I cannot even begin to imagine how stressful and horrible the whole situation it was for him, and he still overcame all of it. One thing Wonho said in his Dispatch interview that really resonated with me was, I can confidently say that I have completely changed after meeting Monbebes. I understood what it is like to be loved. I want to live a good life every day. Like, damn, We really don't deserve Wonho. We don't. A year ago, Mon Bebes were dying to see a fraction of a second of Wonho. And now this man is making his first comeback and consistently giving us content on his YouTube channel, Ohohoho, and posting interesting pictures on his Instagram and Twitter. For Wonho to overcome so many of these painful hurdles in his life is quite amazing, because I personally could never. Yes, the fans did help Wonho come back by encouraging him on social media, but Wonho himself is also incredible to show that good people can win against this cruel, cruel world and whatever fate throws at you. I'm honestly so proud to call Wonho my ultimate male bias, and he proved to me time and time again why he is my role model and why I love him so much, and how I wish I could be even a quarter as amazing as he is. Wonho's story is just beginning, and I know he will continue dominating in the future to come. Oh, and for Mustard and Ketchup, well, they broke up and they are still irrelevant as ever. Yikes.